can we see how it was that the two zipper parts were positioned when you say that Mr. Torres was able to get his hand out? If you want me to do it, I'm fine to take your direction.
From what I remember, this is how the suitcase was. This was up here. This was not this hard either. So this was like here.
Okay.
Right here.
About right there, ma'am?
Sure.
I assume this one was much closer. It's not over there? Where did you leave?
You asked me where I zipped it.
When you say that it was zipped shut, show us.
Are you talking about how I zipped it, or?
When you're done zipping
Like
it
a hole.
shut and he's inside of it, where are the zipper components?
Just tell me where it's at.
I mean, it was the corner. I mean, the corner was
right
kind
here?
of open. I mean,
Here?
it's not. Yes,
Yes?
this one was already pre-matched. Yes. From what I can remember. That's how he was coming with his hand out. It was like this from the corner part.
Okay. Thank you. You can return to your seat.
Okay, I'll go first on this one. If somebody that I loved died in a bag like that, and they wanted me to touch it, I don't think I would be into touching it. I don't think I would be wanting to go near it. I don't think it would be tough to look at it. I don't think I want to have anything to do with it. And he actually says, you don't have to touch it. I'll do it if you don't want to do it. She just dismisses that, doesn't even address that part, really. You know, she goes in, puts her hands all over it, in it, tries to pull on it, turns it around, moves it around. No problem with getting right up next to it. This is where I was trying to decide if we're dealing with a psychopath or not. Here's why I think we're not, and we're dealing with what is known as a sociopath. It's because she's not trying to ingratiate herself with anyone. She's not got that personality type to try to make you like her. She's not being nice or anything like that. I think she's just been raised as the quote unquote sociopath is, to where her feelings as a child weren't addressed. I don't think she had anybody saying to her, hey, listen, don't do that.
You know what my mentor called that?
Mm-mm.
They don't make eye contact with waiters. That's how he described that person. Like they don't interact, they transact only. They'll just throw it out. Sorry to interrupt.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. And you can always tell about a person who doesn't actually talk to the waiter or waitress or the barista or whatever if they don't lock with them. I make a lot of decisions about people seeing that. That's a big deal. But if I loved somebody and they had been in that bag, or that bag had probably even been there, I wouldn't want to get near it, touch it, do anything. And she has no problem whatsoever touching it. So I think what we're seeing here is a person who has been disassociated from having the empathetic feelings, similar to a psychopath, because a psychopath doesn't have the equipment to let them have those empathetic feelings, to create those. So I think that's why she doesn't have a problem feeling it, touching it, dismissing it, not staring at it. We don't see any emotion. When that comes up, we don't see any sadness. We don't see anything that lets us know that suitcase bothers her. So I don't think we're dealing with a psychopath here. I think she's a sociopath, and I think those are the reasons why. So that bothered me all the way up to that point. So I think that's what we're saying, because we don't see any emotion at all, not even a little bit when it comes to that bag. Chase, what do you got?
Mark brought this up earlier. I want to talk about her outfit, if y'all will allow me to do that. As a trial consultant, I would never choose all black or all darks for a woman on trial. With her appearance, I would go through every single episode of The Office and make her subconsciously resemble Pam Beasley to that jury. It would be easy to do with that haircut, her body type. They wouldn't know why, but they would start to see that and they'd feel a certain way about her. I wrote an entire chapter of these tricks. There's like I think 71 of them in my new book. And this is definitely one that is really powerful. If you can harness it, we go into those for jury psychology, and anybody's psychology can be manipulated that way, really. But these demonstrations can be very powerful, even though they seem stupid. It seems stupid. Why are they like, why is this relevant? Why is this important? Demonstrations create vivid, memorable moments that can impact jurors emotionally. So watching a suspect zip up a suitcase that somebody later died in brings emotional intensity to the abstract facts of the case. All these random facts, now I see it happen. And that's kind of why we might be seeing that here. So bringing this mundane behavior of zipping the suitcase in front of the jury makes them visualize it, and it makes it visceral. It underscores these darker implications of what really took place. Mark, what do you got?
I think everybody's spot on here. Scott, let me pick up further on this empathy piece, because I think you're spot on there. And there are many types of empathy. I'm just going to describe two of the types of empathy to you. And the empathy that I had with that suitcase piece. I had what we call cognitive empathy with it. I think that's what you're talking about there, Scott, which is I understand the kind of feeling that somebody could have, if they had emotional empathy for, somebody dying in a bag that they're now touching. I think if I were there on the spot, I might get a sense of that emotional empathy. But right now, very detached from it, I can only have cognitive empathy, which is me going, oh, that would be very odd. Could be a very odd feeling, but I'm not feeling the feeling myself. For some of you there, you might be watching that and you might actually feel something of a feeling. That would be you're having an emotional empathy, but I don't have that emotional empathy. And so because I'm not having emotional empathy for it, but I am empathetic, I have cognitive empathy. Both are very important. The place my mind goes, and somebody died in that bag, but because I'm only having cognitive empathy for it, where else my mind can go, and because most of this week I've spent more time in the air than I have on the ground, I go, this is a lesson in quality luggage, because I just can't get over how stiff that zip is. And I can't get over my own emotional empathy of the frustration of having to kind of, the zip won't close. Because when I'm, packing up, which I'm doing on a regular basis, I'm about speed and I need a very slick zip. And you only really get that with very high quality luggage. I mean, that's what you're paying for. That is what you are paying for. And so my emotional empathy is with the frustration of that zip, and my cognitive empathy is within, wouldn't that feel odd if you had actually killed somebody or you knew the person and you were trying to do that? So the other thing, again, because I'm in cognitive empathy and not emotional empathy, is I can't get over how this now just looks like an auction house. And we've got people dressed in suits with white gloves, and they now look like they're handling some piece of conceptual art together.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah, somebody's going to go, okay, we start the bidding on Suitcase on the floor at $1 million. $1 million, do I have $1 million? $1 million, $1 million, $100 million, $100. On the phones, $1 million, $200. And they get up to the $5 million. $5 million for Suitcase on the floor, going once, going twice, $5 million to the Saudis. And there we go. Can't get over that. Anyway, hope that was interesting on emotional and cognitive empathy. Greg, what do you got on this one?
You know what I can't get over? Somebody's stupid enough to get up and reenact a crime.
Right. Yeah.
What are you thinking? If you have an attorney, they have zero empathy for you at this point, and they're saying, hey, yeah, get up, go over there and show them exactly what you did. And by the way, since the zipper is sticky and you were drunk, that means you went through a little extra effort to get it to happen. I mean, what the hell are you thinking? What are you thinking when that happens? By the way, if you ever go on trial and you fire all your attorneys and they ask you to get up and reenact a crime, don't do it. Just don't do it. Just say, hey, there's video of how it looked. I'll I will admit that I zipped it to here. I'm not getting up and doing that. That's just stupid. On top of that,
unless you are Gwyneth Paltrow and you're the most comfortable person in the room and you can make them feel like dipshits for doing that.
Because you didn't commit a crime.
Right. Yeah, correct.
In this case, you've admitted I committed a crime, and you're going to get up and reenact it, and you're going to show how you fastened this guy in there, and then later say you want me to demonstrate how I hit him with a bat when he was in there. I mean, what the hell are you thinking? This is a clear somebody who thinks they're smarter than they are, and they have a message they're going to deliver. They're reinforcing everything we thought in the very beginning, the first video. She's getting up and doing exactly that. And to your point, Scott, a guy died in here. Not just a guy, somebody she knew. And if it was an accident, we should see the same behavior we saw when she saw that very first cop. You remember the very first cop, all the way back at the beginning, was all that apprehensive and panicked and all that. That act is gone. That is gone. So now somewhere she's got to get back in the act. I don't know how that works. I think this is what goes on when you had a strategy 2 years ago and you chase back to the organism does what made the organism successful. This person's gotten away with this stuff for 2 years or thinks she has. Scott, back to your point of she has not thought of what she's not thought of. And she stands up and does this in front of him. I cannot imagine being sitting in the front row and not thinking, wow, that's pretty creepy. That's pretty creepy. That probably weighed in heavily. What a dumb move. That's all I got.
And Greg, do you know if this is the actual case? Is that why they've got the white gloves? It's not a reproduction.
Yeah,
it's not a.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, they go into details, the parts you guys didn't see because I clipped the videos, of course, is they say there was not a paperclip on here. And a lawyer tries to protect her a couple of times and tries to get her out of it and says, hey, there was not a paperclip on there. There's a paperclip now, so she can't show you exactly how she would have done it. I object. There's video of where this thing was zipped. What happened to all that?
Right.
This is ugly. This is ugly.
Yeah. Let me bring up one thing about marking the luggage thing. Usually when you see, let's talk about the way Mark looks here and the way he looks when he's not in here. You see him out somewhere for doing a show or something. We're all together, we go out, or if you travel with him, because we have. When you see Mark on here, comparatively, he looks like a homeless person with what he wears on here to what he wears outside, out in the wild. So I don't know, and I've seen his luggage, and I don't know how he puts all that stuff in there. And we talked about that one time on a plane, Mark, when me and you were going to wherever we were going. And I still don't, my mind is blown how you can fit all that stuff in your bag, all those different suits where it looks like you just walked out of some Italian, whatever it was, suit maker, and they're all different. I don't know how you pull that off. So I understand your concern and your focus on the luggage here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you for your understanding and empathy on that.
You're welcome.
What do you think she did when she was shopping for luggage? Hey, do you have anything big enough to fit my boyfriend?
Yeah, let's go luggage shopping.
I would have gone with bigger. It's a tiny case, isn't it? It's like
but tell him how much he weighed, Greg.
103.
Oh, he's tiny.
Yeah.
A little bit.
She weighed 90 something, so yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. So he's half me. Half me.
Yeah, less than half me.
Can we see how it was that the two zipper parts were positioned when you say that Mr. Torres was able to get his hand out? If you want me to do it, I'm fine. You take your direction.
From what I remember, this is how the suitcase was. This was up here. This was not this hard either. So this was like here.
Okay.
Right here.
About right there, ma'am?
Sure.
Okay. I assume this one was much closer? It's not over there? Where did you leave?
You asked me where I zipped it.
When you say that it was zipped shut, show us.
Are you talking about how I zipped it or?
When you're done zipping it shut and he's inside of it, where are the zipper components?
Just tell me what it's at.
I mean, it was the corner. I mean, the corner was
right
cut
here?
open. I mean,
Here?
it's not. Yes,
Yes?
this one was pretty much, yes. From what I can remember. That's how he was coming with his hand out. It was like this from the corner part.
Okay. Thank you. You can return to your seat.
If you like this video, get the full body language breakdown and analysis on our main channel by clicking this video right here.
I get